On the phone now, Carole Baskin.
Yeah. Hey, so I must say, because Dancing with the Stars is on tonight. Usually it's on Monday nights. It's on tonight here. And I must say, Carole, that whenever they announced the entire lineup and they listed you and you had the worst odds, I looked at that and I said, I also had the worst odds when I went into that show. So I would just like to give you words of encouragement. Yes, and I ended up winning, Carole. So I want to give you encouragement. I was given the same odds and I won. You can do this. How do you feel today?
I feel like I'm going to have to claw my way up from the bottom.
Claw. Get it?
I get it. But, okay, you finished your first dance. Tell me, Carole Baskin, whenever you go to that judge's table, how vulnerable do you feel as you wait on three adults to rate you at something you have not really spent much of your life doing?
I am absolutely prepared to hear the absolute worst because I know I have absolutely no skill. Am I using absolutely too many times? I have no skill, so whatever they say is going to be fair game.
Do you think that you will move past tonight? That's the question.
I do, because I feel really comfortable about the dance tonight. It's in my wheelhouse to move this way. The Paso Doble was like a very stiff marching song, and that was so difficult for me. But this is like all floaty all over the place, and I love that.
At what point did you decide, I think I want to do Dancing with the Stars? Because I'm sure they approached you way early. Like, how long did it take you to get to that point?
Right after Tiger King aired, we were hit by over 200 media outlets asking us to come on and talk about Tiger King, and I declined all of them. And one of them was Dancing with the Stars, which was kind of weird. And so my daughter saw the list, and she said, well, you've got to do Jimmy Fallon, and you've got to do Dancing with the Stars. I had never seen either show. And the Jimmy Fallon thing turned out to be a prank, as everybody knows. A really funny one, as it turns out. But then when I called Dancing with the Stars back, I was like, okay, this is just going to be a prank, because nobody in their right mind would call me and ask me to be on a show about dancing.
Well, and they did, and I love that you're doing the show. I do, because it's so vulnerable to get out there in front of millions of people and compete in something that you have never done. Have you ever had a single dance lesson, Carole Baskin?
No, I mean, I didn't even dance at my wedding because it was a sin in my family. And so I never danced as a child and never did as an adult.
Oh, wow.
Well, I'd like to encourage everybody out there to, when Carole dances tonight, because I have the list here of her dance exactly. It is the Viennese waltz, which when I was doing it, thought it was called the Vietnamese waltz. But it is not. It is the
I did too.
Yeah. Like, where's,
So say it again.
Viennese, Vienna. I was thinking I was doing some sort of waltz from Vietnam. I don't know anything about waltzes. And so she's doing What's New Pussycat. That's the name of the song, which is a Tom Jones song. There it is, right there. So when you line up and you're like, I'm doing the show, and they tell you your first song, which was Eye of the Tiger, how did you feel about that? Because they do try to be extremely novel with the first week.
I had so many people online saying, if she doesn't dance to Eye of the Tiger, I'm never watching the show again, because it was just such an iconic song. And so I was so happy that they chose that one.
When you hear that click, because what you don't hear at home is this going, which gets you going into your dance. Does your heart flutter when you hear that click?
What's funny is I hear that click everywhere now. So, like, when I'm turning on the turning signals in the car, it's like, click, 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 click. And it's like I'm going to launch into a dance move at the end of this.
Yeah, I had nightmares of that noise. That click was everywhere. Are you still putting out videos for Big Cat Rescue while you're working with Dancing with the Stars?
Yeah, our media team is amazing. And my daughter runs the sanctuary. We have people that put out all of our videos. So all of that stuff is just moving along like it ever did.
And YouTube, you can watch on Big Cat TV. More than 1 million subscribers, more than 500 million views. At Big Cat Rescue has 2.5 million likes on Facebook. Was a part of the reason that you went on the show to promote Big Cat Rescue?
It was the only reason, other than my daughter. Like I said, I didn't even know what the show was. I thought when they invited me that they were going to have me dance with a star, because I didn't perceive myself as a star. But I felt like if this was something that a lot of people watched, if my daughter watches it, then there's a lot of people watching this. I wanted people to know about the big cats that were really left out in Tiger King. They are the ones that are suffering the abuse, and I hope every week that I can stay in this, it keeps the spotlight on the cats.
I got to tell you, Carole, I don't think they treated you fair on that show. I don't at all. You had to feel the same way.
I felt so utterly betrayed by what they did, but there's always, I think everything always happens the way it should, and that it's always for the best. And so even though my family and I suffered greatly because of that, there's so much good that we can turn this into.
When you finish Dancing with the Stars and you do something that's, away from Tiger King, are you thinking of going into having a show about Big Cat Rescue? I'm sure people have approached you about this.
We've been approached over the years, but we've always been considered too controversial because we were speaking out against zoos and circuses and things that people held dear. And now the public is starting to see what's really involved in holding big cats captive. And so we're working with Think Factory right now to do our own show, which will be exposing all of these horrific roadside zoos for exactly what they are and bringing them to justice.
Have you trademarked, "Hey, all you cool cats and kittens"?
We're trying to.
Oh, is that starting to be tough? Because, have other people tried to jump on it since the show?
Yeah, other people have. I've actually been using that phrase for years on my little big cat briefing that I do. And so I think we stand a good chance of actually trademarking it, but it's like a year-long process to do it.
Carole Baskin is on with us. How's your body holding up? Are you suffering any minor knick-knack injuries right now?
I hit my hand in the apartment, and that really killed me during the Paso Doble because you know how you have to, jerk your hand out there? And so that thing got re-injured 100 times a day until we got through with that song. And then yesterday I smashed into the camera while we were doing camera blocking. So
I've done that. I laugh because I've done that too.
It's not a real dancer.
So there's an empty
Really?
ballroom.
They told me that never happens.
Well, no, listen, if it could be done wrong and clumsily, I did it. I was known for kicking and running into things. If you in that ballroom on show night, there's nobody in the ballroom, does it feel empty and quiet, or since I guess you've never had a crowd in there, it's just what you know?
The best part of it for me, I think, is that when we do these camera blockings and the dress rehearsals, they're all exactly the same as the live show for me because they are. And so it doesn't feel like there's any more stress the night of the live show.
Have you been able to talk with Tyra Banks off camera?
She called me when I first got here and welcomed me to L.A. and said that there were so many great things here that she wanted to tell me about, that things have been really crazy. So we haven't had a chance to talk since then.
So Carole will be dancing tonight, and I hope we watch with a slightly different heart. My heart was already there for you. I'm rooting for the underdog. When you're the underdog, you root for the underdog. And I hope tonight that you watch, and if you're going to vote, you vote for Carole Baskin tonight because she came on the show. That's what I feel. Amy, anything you'd like to say?
No, I just want to wish you luck. I know how hard it is out there, and just the I think you're handling this beautifully. To hear you say that you were misrepresented, and a lot of people could just run the other direction with that, but instead you're trying to turn it into something good and positive and what you can do for your cat rescue center, and I just love that.
I'll say this about Carole Baskin.
Thank you.
I've always believed in you, Carole Baskin. I came on the show from episode 1. I was like, Carole Baskin's getting the S end of the stick on this show. That's what I said.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Those votes are going to mean a lot to me tonight because I'm not going to make it on skill. I'm going to really rely on a lot of people voting.
Well, and thank you for putting up. Scuba Steve's been messaging you a lot over the last few months, right, to try to get you on the show?
He is relentless. You really have a gem in him.
All right. Yeah, that's what we like. All right.
Yeah.
All right. On Instagram, you can follow her, Carole Baskin Cat. So go follow her tonight. She'll be on Dancing with the Stars. Let me just say, Miss Carole Baskin, it has been a thrill. If you need some votes in a couple weeks, we'd love to pump you up again. Otherwise, be healthy, be safe, and we will see you on Dancing with the Stars tonight.
Thank you so much.
All right. Bye, Carole Baskin.
Bye.
There she goes. Everybody.